Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sara Gonzales. Happy Friday. We've got a great lineup today. We've got Stu Burguiere, Pat Gray stayed in the building for us. Thank you, Pat, for that. And we've got Mr. Jonathan Dunn.
I'm back again.
He's not went back to Ireland yet.
No, you haven't kicked me out yet, but it's happening.
We've got ice on the way here to the studio.
I escaped them last week, but I don't think I'm going to escape this week.
All right, Stu, what's the top story for you?
The guy who owns the team that lost to the Eagles in Super Bowl 52 is Robert Kraft, and he is with the New England Patriots.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah, I did. And he apparently got busted in a prostitution sting, proving once again the Patriots always cheat.
All right, Pat.
I think it's Vermont's new abortion law.
All right, okay. Jonathan.
Life is precious, and we must stand for it.
Okay, all right. Obviously,
I feel like yours are better than mine. I don't care. It's the Patriots. I'm going with it anyway.
Obviously, a lot to get into there. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So I was in a car accident, several years ago, and car was totaled. And the person whose fault it was walked away with like this really, I think it was like a broken collarbone, 4 weeks in a sling, totally healed, no other issues. I walked away with herniated and protruding discs and a knee problem for life that I had to then get surgery on. And
so you're a mess, is what you're saying.
Yes, it was not exactly what you would call equal in terms of injuries. And
only we had Bernie Sanders to equal it out a little bit.
Equal it out.
Cause some more pain to the person who was the other person in the accident.
I'm now on the Bernie train.
Yes.
I'm now on the Bernie train.
Baby, burn.
So I couldn't find any relief. I tried acupuncture. I tried, of course, massage. I tried pharmaceutical drugs. I just could not find anything that would relieve me from being in pain literally all day long until Relief Factor. I know it's worked for Glenn as well. So it's 100% drug-free. It tackles the inflammation in our bodies that we don't really realize until we start taking it, that is a lot of the time the root of the problem. You can try their 3-week quick start pack now for $19.95. 70% of the people who try it go on to keep ordering it. It's working for that many people. It can work for you. And it's $20 to find out. Go to relieffactor.com or you can call 800-500-8384 if you still use those things called telephones to actually talk. I don't know how many people.
I think people still do that occasionally.
They just text on it, I feel. We don't really like talking to people anymore. But you can if you want, relieffactor.com. All right, Robert Kraft.
Yes, this is an interesting tale. Apparently in Florida, there's been an arrest actually of 200 people. Robert Kraft is just one of them, who was, it was a prostitution sting where he was apparently soliciting prostitutes in a classy strip mall shopping center day spa, which is one thing that's interesting about this story is this is the first time a billionaire has ever been to a shopping center strip mall for any reason. That doesn't happen. So when you see a billionaire, you see a limo pull up and a billionaire gets out and goes into a day spa in a shopping center, you know something shady is going on. And apparently there was. And you might say, well, what's he going to say? He might say that this, there was nothing happened. I mean, it's behind closed doors. They apparently have video of it. Video of the sex act with Robert Kraft and the very talented, I'm sure, masseuse who worked next to the 7-Eleven where this day spa was
many years
running.
Of training.
I'm sure.
To be in that day spa.
You have to go to college for a long time, as far as I understand. Is
that a 3 or 4 year degree?
I think it's a 4. It may even be more than that.
Maybe you have to do. Maybe it's an apprenticeship.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe she got a scholarship from Mike Rowe.
There you go. Who knows? That's a good point.
Dirty jobs.
Yes, I don't think Mike was ever in an episode like that at a day spa. That would have been one I think maybe didn't air. It's an interesting thing. I think that it's so perplexing. We talked about this a little bit before we got on the air. Like, if you're a billionaire and like you have all these wonderful things you can do with your life, and you really can do anything, you can change people's lives, you can build businesses, you can do all these things. Billionaires are so often looked at in this really negative light. Where the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes of the world. There shouldn't even be any billionaires. Elizabeth Warren's saying that now. Bernie Sanders is saying it. And here's a guy who's been able, through a wonderful business career, to put together something really impressive and can go anywhere. He can do anything. And he finds himself next to a 7-Eleven with like the little tranquil music on and the one little tiny fountain they bought at Home Depot in the waiting room, and he's hooking up with random masseuses. It is one of those things that is completely perplexing.
Well, there's something called the Patriot way. And maybe that's the Patriot way.
Yeah. Well, he did at one point say, "Do your job." That's the Patriot way. That's what they say. It's that the Patriot way is do your job. That's
Right.
He did say that?
No, he didn't say it. I mean, he said it. I don't know that he said it in this context.
Okay.
But that I wouldn't be surprised if that's on the video. It's just an amazing thing.
That's amazing.
It really is. And
It's sad.
There's so much there to kind of dissect.
Do you feel like, though, that, when you get to that level of just, having that much money, you feel like you're untouchable?
I guess you do. I mean, the idea that he thinks he could go into a day spa next to a 7-Eleven or whatever in a strip mall is completely insane. Like, I mean, if Robert Kraft wants to hook up with a prostitute, let me walk you through the process, Rob.
Please.
The process is you get one of your people, okay, to figure out the local area that has the local contact that has the high class prostitutes where you pay thousands of dollars an hour, and then you have like 2 separate hotel rooms next to each other, one not under your name and one in your name, and she goes to the other one, and then you do like a full security check of the room, and a million things happen, and then the little door that goes in between the rooms opens and Bob walks in. That's how you do that, I think. I'm not, I haven't actually given it a whirl yet, but I can.
Can I change my story? I think the story's not about Robert Kraft. It's how you know all this.
I'm a planner.
That does not sound like your first time doing this.
You certainly don't.
Yeah.
You certainly don't go to the place that's charging like $26 for the evening, right? Like that is not the place you go if you're Robert Kraft.
Well, he wants to save his money.
That's true. Maybe that's how he got to be a billionaire.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, how are you going to stay a billionaire if you spend too much on prostitution?
There is something where
Save where you can.
Exactly. There is something, and this goes back to there's been some famous lines about money being the root of all evil, and like it doesn't make you evil, but if you have things in your brain and things you want to do, it does free you up to do these things. We've seen this example with Epstein in Florida, where we did a big story about that. I mean, I remember on News and Why of this guy who was getting like high school girls to come over and give him massages as well. We've seen it, I mean, Spitzer's not a billionaire, but he certainly went through this same type of thing. The guy we've mentioned, Larry Hilbaum from DHL, the H in DHL, basically built his own island, started his own island. There was a small population there, but he took it over basically with the idea of hooking up with as many underage girls as possible, and he did that all around the world. John McAfee's doing all sorts of. He's not a billionaire either. He's close, but he's done a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, there's something about that. If you get to that level of wealth, it frees you up in your mind to be able to do whatever you want without consequences. And as Robert Kraft is finding out, when one of the things you do is really evil, like owning the New England Patriots, bad things will happen to you. What he should do is fold the team. There's really no other. Fold the team. Fire Tom Brady.
Yes.
If you do that, then I think I would be for excusing him,
Yes.
clearing him of all of these crimes. But I think that is part of it. Like if you get enough money to be able, it's that FU money thing. It can be used for great things. Like you'd say, like, screw you, I'm not doing this job. I don't care what you say. Elon Musk says that to people all the time, I'm sure. But it also puts you in that position of, I can do whatever I want.
Right.
Is it possible that this was a suggestion from Gisele Bündchen to go through this ritual so that the Patriots would win?
Yes.
And maybe this is one thing he had to do. He had to get in with the prostitute at the Asian day spa in Florida, and maybe that's how they won the Super Bowl. I don't know. Because Tom had to go through a bunch of stuff too. Maybe Robert Kraft had to do it.
And this is real too, right? She's like, I don't think it's real, but she actually believes she's a witch.
And so apparently does Tom.
And
You don't believe her that she's a witch?
she seems very nice to me. But she actually thinks she's a witch and apparently does these rituals with Tom Brady. And I don't know how else you explain being down 28-3 in the Super Bowl and winning
It's working,
it. So,
right? Exactly. It's working.
Well,
Except
I would just like to point
Super Bowl
out something.
52.
Who can point this? I would add to that is her witchcraft didn't work on the New York Giants, who is 2-0 against the Patriots. And until your team, we're the only team to beat the Patriots under Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. So clearly, what we're learning here is the Giants and the Eagles are imperious, are godly teams.
Yes.
And witchcraft doesn't work on them.
All right. Well, here in Dallas, Texas, where the Dallas Cowboys are from, we're going to move on to the next topic.
You mean the Cowgirls?
Pat, tell us about the Vermont House.
This is pretty amazing. They just passed an abortion bill that allows abortion at any stage of the pregnancy for any reason. So any stage, any reason.
And is the language, does it literally say for any reason, or is it more nuanced like its previous bills? Right, like in New York, it was very difficult to find the actual language. And
the bill reads, every individual who becomes pregnant has the fundamental right to choose to carry a pregnancy to term, give birth to a child, or to have an abortion, period. So
no health of the mother, even that BS qualifier is not in there.
In fact, and this passed 106 to 36, so it wasn't even close. It was not even close. Republicans tried to get a couple of restrictions. They tried to get they tried to have an amendment that would preclude an abortion until you at least have an ultrasound. Okay, at least see what's inside. Nope. Democrats voted that down. Then another amendment would have required minors to get parental consent.
Oh, that's crazy.
Nope, not even that. So this is an incredible, this is at least as bad, if not worse, than the New York bill.
So you said at any age. At any age, even minors.
Yes, even minors.
Incredible. I mean, because that is
without
definitely,
parental permission.
Without the health of the mother thing, I mean, functionally, anyone who wants to get an abortion in New York or in this Virginia proposed law that didn't wind up going through, you could have had one by, any BS reason. I don't feel good. My cousin might not like it. I mean, it even said familial is one of the reasons. Like if something in your family you find to be would object to the baby, you could have an abortion.
But they had a little bit of mask on that.
At least there was something,
yes.
right? Like at least they
knew that the optics were bad.
At least you had to not only kill a baby, but also lie about an excuse if you needed one. This one is like, seems to be
anything goes.
Anything goes.
Yeah. Here's another part of the bill. A fertilized egg, embryo, or fetus shall not have independent rights under Vermont law. So if
really clear.
you're an unborn baby, you have no rights. Period.
Do you think that the people are going to eventually swing back on this? Because as we've discussed many times on this program, the statistics are not in their favor for this radicalized view of abortion.
80 to 14 in the third trimester against.
And yet they're going full speed ahead. This is the third state now. It is starting to sweep across the East Coast.
Yeah, and one of the reasons for this is the Kavanaugh situation, because these states are saying, well, we know Kavanaugh is going to get in there and overturn Roe versus Wade, so we want to have our state constitution set up so we're protected, because if Roe versus Wade was overturned, as we've talked about many times, it would go back to the states, and the states would have a decision to make as to whether they wanted abortion or not. And so these states are trying to get ahead of that, which in some ways you can kind of understand if you're a pro-choice state. You want to, it's a nice way to assuage your voters, right? To say, oh, well, we're already ahead of this. We're already doing something about this. So this is us. But I mean, again, it's 80 to 14 against in the third trimester. This is not a close call. It's not even a close call in the second trimester. I believe it's a 36-point split.
Have they ever even done a survey of after a birth, if you can go ahead and euthanize the baby after the birth? Because for instance, New York and Virginia, it was proposed that even after it's born, you can go ahead and kill the baby if it's born alive or there's a failed abortion. I'd like to see the stats on that. Is there anybody who thinks that's okay?
And that's kind of where we are. I mean, the story of the earliest born baby ever that lived is a baby that was born, I believe it was 21 weeks and 5 days. And the mother went in and lied to the doctors and said she was further along in the pregnancy than she was, because if she didn't do that, they weren't going to help the baby if it was born. They weren't going to help. They were going to let it. They're not forced to do it until 24 weeks. They were not forced to actually try to help the baby that was alive until 24 weeks. So she actually lied about her baby being a little bit older. So they did try to resuscitate it, and of course it lived. As we all know, the age of viability is coming down. I mean, right now we've only 21 weeks and 5 days is the youngest. The only reason for that is because they're not even trying earlier than that. They're not even attempting it. We know we could save more of the babies and earlier than that. But so far it hasn't happened because our idea is, and when it happened at Roe versus Wade, the idea was viability is about 24 weeks. So it's in the mindset and it's in the system that it's 24 weeks. Anything before that, they don't really have to do much of anything, which is, it's murderous. It's murderous.
Yeah. And here's the problem.
Go ahead.
Here's the problem that we need to address. We need to stand for principles. America is exceptional for certain principles. One is your founders are crystal clear in the Declaration of Independence. You have a right to life. Life right now has been attacked on all sides. You're seeing it in abortion where, Republicans, with the greatest respect, are going, oh, well, we're okay with it, but just try and get an ultrasound. We need to start making the case of why everyone has a mission in this world. You have a purpose. You're unique. There is no one like you. There's no one like you, Stu. No one like you, Pat. No one like you, Sarah. There is. But everyone is unique. We may have similarities in politics and ideologies and race and who we sleep with, our favorite food, but there's something inside of you that makes you inherently unique, and we need to start standing for it because you're seeing life attacked on all sides. You're seeing it on abortion. The mask is off. What's next? Well, if you live till 2, you live till 3, you can be murdered. You're seeing it in Europe with euthanasia, where you're getting attacked. You're too much of a cost benefit. You're now starting to see it with stories like Alfie Evans and Charlie Gard, and this case a couple of weeks ago in David Rees, where you're becoming, you're compassionate. You have a right to die with dignity. Life is under attack, and if we don't start understanding that this is a fundamental, nothing else to me is more important. We can have disagreements on tax policies or whether you like Donald Trump or whether you like the media. Compared to life, they're nothing. And we need to start having these conversations. And it has to start in the media, because we're sitting at a table with people in the media. I'm sure you've been told this, and I know you've been told, and I'm sure you've been told, hey, John, don't talk about pro-life issues. It's not popular. It doesn't do right. Well, we need to start say, I don't care. We need to start talking about this, because fundamentally, if we don't start talking about life, it's going to be all taken away from us. Because guess what? It starts with abortion, and it starts going into this. John, you're overweight. You're too much of a cost to society. Boom. And you think that's funny, and it is a joke. But they're doing this to Down syndrome in thing. You're seeing all these stories in Iceland where we've solved Down syndrome. It's not because of medical advancement, which medical, as you write, the 21 weeks and 5 days, medicine's getting better all the time. It's not. No, we just kill it.
Right.
Let's go. I know that there is more to say on this topic. Let's take a break. We'll be back.
They've already suggested it.
All right, before we get back into the conversation, I want to thank our sponsor, Ridgeson. So, might I suggest, it is Friday, right? So if you have any big dinner plans, you're going to a party, usually here in America, that involves stuffing our faces with food, right?
Are there any dinner plans other than big dinner plans?
Well, parties.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right,
Turkey,
parties
brisket.
also. What do you do at a party?
Eat.
You stuff your face with food, right? Then you may step on the scale and not like the number that you see because you are constantly stuffing your face with food.
You're not going to believe this, Sarah. I've been there.
No.
What happens when you get to the point where there is no number?
Where there's no
good thing.
number?
Well, if it goes past, if it goes past the top number and it gets into that white area in between that's
The digital one just says ERR for
Jeffrey
error.
Scale says one at a time, please.
So might I suggest Ridgeson before you go out to those big dinners or big parties. So the folks at Ridgeson have put the good molecule in olive oil into a capsule for you to take before your meals. It's been shown to boost your metabolism and reduce your appetite, so you're not going to gorge yourself at those parties. Now, if you do want to gorge yourself at those parties, I mean, that's your choice.
Yeah, and then bounce back with Ridgeson, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
It works both ways. So if you're looking to lose some weight or you're just trying to maintain, I use it to maintain. It works beautifully for me. Go to riduzone.com and use promo code THEBLAZE to get 30% off of a 3-month supply. That is RIDUZONE.com, promo code BLAZE. Really quickly, we've been working with the folks at Ridgeson. A while back, we had a bunch of people come in and give their testimonials. And I just went through and looked at some of those videos, and I mean, it's amazing. I can't wait to start showing those to the audience on Blaze TV, because it's not just me. Don't take my word for it. We had people in studio coming in and talking about it, and their stories were amazing. So I'm really excited to show those here in the coming weeks. All right, so we were talking about the issue of pro-life, and you mentioned, this is the most important issue. This is what we need to be talking about. People used to say, don't talk about this. I just want to say, 10 years ago, I was one of those people. I said, guys, when you get up on the debate stage, do you have to bring it up? Because you know it's going to lose you votes, right? Just shut up about it. We know, you know, but just don't talk about it, because they're going to make you out to look radical. And now, where we're at now, it's one of my top issues, because the left has gone so far left, so extreme, I agree with you that it is one of the most important things, that we should be talking about, because without this, nothing else matters. But I feel like surely I'm not the only one who was in that position who said, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but do you have to be so in their faces about it? It's going to cost you some votes. Now, there's no way people cannot be silent.
I think the important thing that it's so relevant is how we discuss it. I think so many people are, pounding the table, you can't do it, you're a murderer, you're going to rot in hell. Mm-hmm. I think the answer is very simple. Maybe maybe I'm being stupid here or wrong, but I believe all life is precious. Mm-hmm. It breaks down. Can you think of a more inequality statement? All life is precious. I don't care where you're born, where you live, your race, who you sleep with, because it's not a Christian issue. People go, well, there you go in your Christian beliefs. I'm saying everyone, atheists, Muslims, everyone has a right to life, and that they're precious and that they're individual. And there is no more, if we can start sharing this true passion, and it's not saying, hey, guess what, you're going to hell, or you have no morals if you believe in abortion. We have to break it down and just be an empowering message that we're going to stand for everyone, because that's what America was built on. Rights for everyone. I've been doing around speaking, and people are going, where are America's refounders? Or you talk about them, but they were slave owners. I always ask one simple question. They weren't. They were slave owners, but they were for everyone. The proof of it is the Declaration of Independence. If they were even remotely pro-slavery, would they include the following statement? All men are created equal. The answer is no, because I can give you the historical text. If they were pro-slavery and they didn't believe life is precious, they would have just followed on with the Magna Carta. They would have said all free men are created equal. They didn't. That is what we fundamentally need to stand for, because America stands for ideals. If America wants to be exceptional again, you need to get back to those principles of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Without them, you'll just be a great country or an average country or just like everyone else. I don't want that for y'all. I want you to be the beacon of light. But it starts with life and saying everyone matters. Everyone. Everyone. There is no exclusivity. It's for everyone.
I love how this foreigner over here comes over and tells us what we need to be doing in our country.
Well, it's funny. Normally we do say that, right? Don't come over here like some European, oh, you guys should do this. And we brush it off. The issue of life is different. Europe, we did this on Wonderful World of Stu a little while ago. And when you look at the laws between Europe and the United States, most countries in Europe have abortion laws that are more conservative than even the state of Utah has.
Unbelievable.
It is an unbelievable thing. And even when they have similar laws, the hoops they make you go through, days of counseling and getting several doctors to approve on it. There's step after step after step after step to get these things done. Here, it's very little. I know in Ireland was one of the last holdouts when it comes to abortion, and it's really sad because you talk about, you're always complimenting our principles, but how long has that principle been in Ireland when abortion was illegal in every case for a very long time?
Yes.
And they did Life of the Mother a little while ago, and then just this last year it's changed completely.
Yes. But there's a couple of key lessons that we need to learn, and we can all learn these lessons. The lesson is, Margaret Thatcher made a statement once, and it's relevant for all your politics. First you win the argument, then you win the election. The pro-choice people, the pro-abortion people in Ireland actually followed that to a T. They started making the emotional argument and gaining people and reaching out to young people. The other lesson that we need to learn about is that your credibility matters. One of the reasons Ireland was a long holdout, forget what you think of the church as a whole, the Catholic Church was a big thing. Ireland is a predominantly Catholic church country. What happened that made them erosion of the rights and abortion become legal? The child sex scandal and all the church, the way they dug it under put it under the carpet. They had no credibility. How can you have a priest standing up going, abortion is wrong, and you're like, in the back, even I did it, because I saw some of the sermons where they're going, so it's okay, wrong to be a pro-abortion, but you're all okay with priests touching each other and doing incredibly bad things to children. You have no credibility to me.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. Back in a minute. Jonathan, tell everyone where they can find you with The Blaze.
On everywhere you can get a podcast, where you can find Pat's show, where you can find Dan's show, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeart.
Yeah.
Look up Freedom's Disciple. It's free every Saturday, 12 noon Eastern, new episode.
Awesome. And we're going to get more into the conversation. I think that you had one more point that you wanted to make. We can do that in overtime. What he said off air was, I'm a little bit of a talker. Mm-hmm. I want to give you the ability to make your point. Overtime starts now.